नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामी इति नाम्ने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवी गौरवाणविचारिणे निर्विशेषम्यादि पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे on the Hare Krishna. Sorry, there is some network issue. I'll just share the screen for you. So this is actually what Ravana tells to Jadava tells to King Ravana that you're so much focused on material activities. So it is nothing to do with spirituality. You will not make any. So this is the comparison between material activity and spiritual activity. There is master and subject relationship, material sacrifice prescribed in Vedas, faith placed in rituals and external actions, and pursuit of enjoyment on this or higher planet systems. The result is you have continue to be samsara. And this is actually what is happening to King Rahugada. He is feeling that I am doing correct only. But Jadabartis want to raise his consciousness. He want to take him further. He says, Arey, you have to transcend the relationship based on body and the roles which you are playing. You need requirement, detachment from material results, directly put faith on the Supreme Lord, and goal should be coming out of this material world. So that's what he tells. And next is the analogy. A dream becomes automatically known to a person as false. One eventually realizes that this material happiness in this life or next life is insignificant. So the dream analogy is given. Metal life is like a dream. There is vivid experience like what we are having now, but recognized as unreal upon waking, just as one does not grieve over dream losses. So the wise is not grieving over material gain or loss. So that is the first thing. And then the Vedas are insufficient in giving this knowledge. So they are keeping, no, let's say, Nistraya Gunyo Bhavarjuna, transcend the Vedas, even Krishna tells. So this is an excellent source of knowledge, but are insufficient to bring a direct knowledge of the truth when a person remains attached to material results. And spiritual advancement begins when the soul recognizes the insufficiency of both this worldly and heavenly happiness. So this is where then the mind came into picture. What is the cause of why being here is mind. So mind is in three modes. Mind is described as the independent, uncontrolled elephant is perpetually agitated by three modes of matter nature. This agitation is the root of all bondage. Sattva Rajoguna, and Tamoguna. So this is how the mind is. So when it is Sattva it creates pious tendencies, expands sensory jurisdiction, produces subtle bondage through virtue, and leads to birth among demigods and sages. So even though this pious activity also, but it is a cause of bondage. And Rajoguna is generates lust and ambition, creates strong sense attachments, drives impious activities, leads to birth in human society. And Tamoguna produces anger and inertia, creates deeper illusion, generates most harmful karma, leads to birth in animal forms. So mind is the chief among all the senses. That's actually what we understood. So in this mind, the ego, the knowledge acquiring senses, working senses, and fields of mind's activities, which are sense objects, organ functions, and body, society, friendship, personality, nationality, so all these identities. So now what is the problem with the mind? Mind is absorbed in sense gratification, and because of which we get lust and anger arises. Then there is pious and impious actions, pleasure and pain, and further illusion and further absorption in matter. So learned scholars say that bodily appearance, bondage, and liberation are all caused by mind only. So, and then attached mind and detached mind. That is also another thing. Attached mind is compared to what? A lamp with a poorly burnt wick. So it brings all smoke, blackened, produces only smoke. Whereas a detached mind is like lamp filled with ghee and properly burns and bright illumination everywhere. So here, absorbed in material sense gratification, constantly agitated by desires, creates diseases, lamentation, illusion, fosters attachment, greed, and enmity, binds the soul to repeated birth and death, and produces suffering at every turn. Whereas unattached, it is free from agitation of modes, becomes the cause of liberation, restores original Krishna consciousness. And then we discussed this about the Supreme Lord. Uh, it is said that even though all the things are happening here, but they are done by the Supreme Lord, and these are the qualities of the Supreme Lord. It is not just happening on its own random. And then there is conditioned soul and liberated soul. Mind is the designation of the soul, and whereas the liberated soul, he sees the illusionary ideas and activities of conditioned souls vividly. And this uncontrolled mind is the greatest enemy of living entity. Please try to conquer this mind by the weapon of service to the lotus feet of spiritual master. So we discuss this also. So first thing is understand that uncontrolled mind is not a friend but the greatest enemy. Without this recognition, no effort towards conquering it will be made with sufficient urgency. Second is If one neglects it or gives it a chance, it will grow more powerful and become vicious and victorious. Discipline must be continued, not occasional. So, what we should do, the greatest weapon is we should not hear to the mind. We should not give it any chance. And the weapon of service to lotus feet of Guru cuts through the bondage created by mind. If you serve Guru, slowly, bondage will cut, and our surrender and obedience to realize the spiritual master directly weakens the false ego, which is the cause of our bondage. And combined with devotion to Krishna, this service transforms the mind from cause of bondage into the cause of liberation. So this is how the system works. First, we should recognize, then we should take it very seriously, and we should not hear to the mind. And to come out of it, we have to serve Guru. Then it will work. So the whole chapter is summarized in this way. Material activity cannot lead to spiritual advancement. Only Vedic rituals without inner transformation won't work. Second is, this material world is like a dream of happiness. Material happiness here or in heaven is it. The Vedas alone are not sufficient for direct realization. This is actually what Ravgana is in some illusion. So Jadabarth is trying to help him. And then he says mind is made of three modes. The structure of mind he explains. And then he gives the analogy of attached mind and detached mind with the lamp analogy. And he says Supreme Lord is the controller. And the solution is serve the spiritual master. So this is the presentation given by Jadabarth. But interestingly, Ravgana did not understand completely. So not a problem. If we are also not understanding, such great person like Ravgana did not understand. So that's why he asked further. This is Ravgana Vacha. Namo Namah Karana Vigrahaya Swarupa Tucchi Krita Vigrahaya Namo Vidhuta Vijabandulinga Nighooda Nityanubhavaya Tubhyam. King Ravgada said, O most exalted personality, you are not different from the Supreme Lord by the influence of your true self. All kinds of contradictions in the Shastras have been removed. In the dress of a friend of a Brahmana, you are hiding your transcendental blissful position. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. From Brahma Samhita, we understand that the Supreme Lord is the cause of all causes. Sarva Karana Karana. Rishabdev was the direct incarnation of Supreme Personality of Godhead, the cause of all causes. His son Bharat Maharaj, who was not acting as a Brahmana Jada Bharat, has received his body on the cause of all causes. Therefore, he is addressed as Karana Vigraha. So, Jivaramayartsya Yathagadam Sat Nida Nidhagadi Daptasya Yatha Himambha कुडेहमाना हि विदत्सदृष्टे ब्रह्मन् वचस्ते अमृतम् औषधम् मे. O best of the Brahmanas, my body is filled with dirty things, and my vision has been bitten by serpent of pride. Due to my material conceptions, I am deceased. Your nectarian instructions are proper medicine for one suffering from such fever, and they are cooling water for one scorched by the heat. Prabhupada is telling, the conditioned soul has a body full of dirty things, bones, blood, urine, stool, and so forth. Nonetheless, the most intelligent man in this material world think they are these combinations of blood, bone, urine, and stool. If this is so, Why can't other intelligent men be made with these ingredients, which are so readily available? Their entire world is going on under the bodily conception and creating a hellish condition unfit for any gentleman's living. The instruction given by King Rahugana, given to King Rahugana by Jadabharata, are very valuable. They are like the medicine that can save one from snake bite. The Vedic instructions are like nectar and cool water for one suffering from the scorching heat. So this is uh, so the most intelligent people, they are not understanding they are the spirit soul. They think they are also made of matter only. That's why Prabhupada is telling, okay, take all the ingredients and make one more. Why are you not able to make it? Tasmad bhavantam mama samsayartham prakshami pashad adhuna subodham अध्यात्मयोगा गृहीतं तवोक्तम् आख्याहि कौतूहलश्चेतसो मे. Whatever doubts I have about a particular subject matter, I shall ask you about later. For the time being, these mysterious yoga instructions you have given me for self relations appear very difficult to understand. Please repeat them in a simple way so that I can understand them. My mind is very inquisitive. I want to understand this very clearly. So King Rahugana did not understand. So not a problem. So the Vedic lectures instructs Tasmat Gurum Prapadyete Jignasu Shreyutam. An intelligent man must be very inquisitive to know the transcendental science deeply. Therefore, one must approach a guru, a spiritual master. Although Jarabat explained everything to Maharaj Rahugana, it appears that his intelligence was not perfect enough to understand clearly. He therefore requested a further explanation. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, Tad Vidhi Pranipatena Pariprashnena Sevaya. He must also question him in order to understand instructions. Pariprashnena. So, a challenging spirit before a spiritual master should be avoided if one is at all interested in learning Vedic instructions in deep path. So, this is the most important thing. Yadaha yogeshwara darshamanam kriyafalam sad vyavahara moolam nahyam jasa tattva vimarshanaya bhavan amusman Brahmate Manome. O master of yogic power, you said that fatigue resulting from moving the body here and there is appreciated by direct perception, but actually there is no fatigue. It simply exists as matter of formality. But such inquiries and answers, no one can come on the conclusion of absolute truth because of your presentation of this statement. My mind is little disturbed. So this is a very important question. See what he's telling. Array, you are telling the pain is illusion, but I am feeling real. No? If somebody is now we have to arrange for our breakfast, then lunch, then dinner, and then so much hard work is there, and from so we have to go to office and work and take responsibility of family, house. Even though if you say it is illusory, how does it make any sense? Should I then will I be able to stop doing it? No. Will I free from the suffering which I am getting from all this entanglement? No. So that's what he's telling. Array, you are telling it is illusory, not so you said the fatigue resulting from movie body here there, it appears by direct person, but actually there is no fatigue. It is simply exists as matter of formality. So, how to understand this? And he further asks, now for this, Jadavarti is going to answer. Brahmana uvacha yam janno ma nama chalan pratipyam यत्प्रा यत्प्रार्थिवः प्रार्थिवकर्षहेतो तस्यापि चाङ्घ्रोरधिकुल्पजघ्न जानोर्मध्योरसिरोधरांस अंशे अधि धारवी शिबिका च यस्याम् सौवीरजातेत्य अपदेश आस्ते यस्मिन् भवान् रूढनिजाभिमानो राजांसि सिन्धस् इति धुर्मदा. The self-realized Brahmana Jarval said, among the various material combination and permutations, there are various forms and earthly transformations. For some reasons, these move on the surface of earth and are called palanquin carriers. Those material transformations which do not move on gross material objects like stones. In any case, the metal body is made of earth and stone in the form of feet, ankles, calves, knees, thighs, torso, throat, and head. Upon the shoulders is the wooden palanquin, and within the palanquin also the king called so-called king of Sauvira. The body of the king is also another transformation of earth. But within that body, your lordship is situated falsely thinking that you are king of state of Sauvira. So first he is telling that that is true, that it's all the transformation of these five elements that we are seeing now. So after analyzing the metal body, the palanquin carrier, the palanquin carrier and palanquin passenger, Jadavat conclude that the real living force is a living entity. That is clear. Living entity is offshoot of offsprings of Lord Vishnu. Therefore, within this metal world, among moving and non-moving things, the real principle is Lord Vishnu. Due to his presence, everything is working and there are actions and reactions. One who understands Lord Vishnu as the original cause of everything is to be understood to be perfectly situated in knowledge. Although he was falsely proud of being a king, King Rahugana was not really situated in knowledge. Therefore, he was rebuked, rebuking the palanquin carrier, self-realized Brahmana Jada. This is the first accusation Jadabharth made against the king. So, this uh, is telling that if you are self-realized, see what King Ravana did is not completely wrong. That also we should understand. What King Ravana is asking is also not wrong. What he did also not wrong. But what Jadabharat is doing, he is trying to help Rahugana think in a higher level of consciousness. If you are in a higher level of consciousness, then you don't see even this distinction as I am a king, is a palanquin carrier, I am the king, is my subject, I have to chastise him, make him proper. So that thought also will not come if you are self-realized. That's actually what Jadabharat is telling. Are if you are just self-realized, therefore he is rebuking the palanquin carrier, including the self-realized Jadabharata. So uh, so this is the first accusation Jadabarth made against king, who was daring to talk to a learned Brahmana from a flimsy ground of ignorance, identifying everything that matter. So you are identifying with matter and speaking. King Ravana argued that the living entity is within the body, and when the body is fatigued, the living entity within must therefore be suffering. So this argument is that okay, you are telling something is happening to me. We are working so hard all day. So if body is tired, the soul is also tired. That's actually what Rahugana feels. So it is clear. It is clear clearly explained in the following verse that living entity does not suffer due to bodily fat. Shri Vishnu Chakra Thakur gives the example of a child heavily decorated with ornaments. Although the child's body is very delicate, he does not feel fatigue nor do the parents think that his ornament should be taken away. The living entity has nothing to do with the bodily pain and pleasure. These are simply mental concoctions. An intelligent man will find the original cause of everything. Material combination and permutations may be a matter of fact in worldly dealing, but actually the living force, the soul, has nothing to do with it. Those who are materially upset take care of the body and manufacture Daridra Narayana. However, it is not a fact that the soul or super soul becomes poor simply because body is poor. These are the statements of ignorant people. The soul and super soul are always apart from the bodily pleasure and pain. See, I very simple point. You all know this, but I'll just tell what exactly he's trying to give the argument. I'll just write for you to make it little more clear. That body is tired, then soul also will get tired. So this is the argument of King Rahugana. So Rahugana. But Jadabharat says, no, this body, na, it is only a combination of elements. So this is only three modes are transforming. So nothing to do with the soul. Soul is aloof. Now the argument is, "Arre, but why we are getting affected? If body is tired, why we are getting affected?" So that should be the question. So we'll see what further uh, Jadavat is going to tell. शोचयानि इमां त्वम् अधिकृष्टधीना विष्ठाय निग्रहं निर् निरणो निर्नुग्रहोऽसि जनस्य गोप्तास्मि विकट्टमानो न शोभसे वृद्धसभासु धष्टः. It is a fact, however, that these innocent people carrying your palanquin without payment are certainly suffering due to this injustice. This condition is very lamentable because you have forcefully engaged them in carrying your palanquin. This proves that you are cruel and unkind. Yet due to false prestige, you are thinking that you are protecting the citizens. This is ridiculous. You were such a fool that you could not have been adored as a great man in an assembly of persons advanced in knowledge. Now, Jadabharat is talking, Are, they are not getting fatigued, but the way you are dealing is much other wrong also. Even at the level of dharma is also wrong. Actually, carrying palanquin, na, recently I got opportunity. I was in Vrindavan. So Krishna Balram, they celebrate their the Lord say Brahmotsava. They are installed on Ram Navami. So Ram Navami they do big festival. They take Krishna Balram, Radha Shyam Sundar, Lalita Vishaka and Gauranta in palanquins around Goshala and different departments and bring it back. So we carry the palanquin. So fortunately, I got actually while going now, many people will come. While return after Aarti, prasadam starts. So most of the people they stay back for prasadam. So very few people will be there to carry the Lord. While going, there is so much competition to carry the Lord. But interestingly, while coming, not much competition because everybody is so much focused in for prasadam. So you get opportunity. So I took that opportunity. I was scared. Actually, the fatigue is there, but it is not. So I was carrying it all the way from Goshala to temple. And what happened is, in the front, there are two people who are tall, and behind, I am only the tall person. Other people who are holding, they are not tall. So the whole weight came onto me. So I was carrying alone in the one way, behind palanquin. And but there was no payment. But and it was uh, some strain and pain, but soul is very happy. So what I am trying to tell, if body is experiencing pain, why soul is experiencing bliss? It should also suffer. And because I carried, I was having pain in the shoulder little bit, and I wanted that pain to remain for so long, because it will help me remind that I got a great opportunity to serve the Lord. Why somebody want the pain to continue long? But I tried to look at my shoulder. It is still paining. If it is reducing, I am feeling bad. Arre, no, it should be there, because it will remind me of Krishna Balram. I got an opportunity to serve them. So the point is what Jarubarthi is telling, that array, if body is getting pained, soul, Ravagana is telling soul will also get paid. Jarubarthi is telling no, it is not like that. And that is true also. Because I was getting pain in the body, but soul is not painful, it is happy. So this is the understanding, because it is independent of the body. Body may have some pain, but some activities we are doing, because it is directly with the palanquins. I was trying to give that example. We can give many examples. People are doing service to Krishna in many ways, and they may be inconvenienced, but they are very happy at soul, right? So here it is directly palanquin, so I gave that example. So King Rahugana was proud of being king, and he felt he had the right to control the citizens he liked. But actually, he was engaging them in carrying in palanquin without payment, and therefore he was causing them trouble without reason. Nonetheless, the king was thinking that he was the protector of citizens. Actually, the king should be the representative of Supreme Lord. For this reason, he is called Naradeva, the Lord amongst human beings. See, here comes the important point. See, you have to do duty as a king, but how we should do the duty as a king? As a representative of Supreme Lord. So this is the point. So you have to do your duty as a husband, wife, and father, mother, or whatever, but as representative of Krishna. So if we do like that, then that is not problem. However, when the king thinks that because he is the head of the state, he can utilize the citizens for his sense gratification, it is an error. So the attitude, such an attitude is not appreciated by learned scholars. So for us also the same thing. We may not be big like Rahugana, but we also have an attitude that okay, things should go in the house according to me. All people in the house should do things according to me. So parents will think the children should listen to me, and children will think parents should listen, and ultimately whatever children wants only will happen in most of the cases, because they know what to do. They can happily cry and they'll get everything done. So even though parents may be strict or lenient, the end result is same only. Whatever children want will happen. So according to Vedic, so here uh, the king should be advised by learned sages, Brahmanas and scholars who advise him according to the instructions given by the Dharma Shastras. The duty of the king is to follow these instructions. Learned circles do not appreciate the king's utilizing public endeavor for his own benefit. This duty is to give protection to the citizens instead. The king should not become such a rogue that he exploits the citizens for his own benefit. It is stated in Srimad Bhagavatam that in Kali Yuga the heads of government will be plunderers and thieves. These thieves and plunderers make the money and property of the public by force or uh, convenience. Therefore, it is said in Srimad Bhagavatam, Rajnair Nirghanair Dasho Dharmabhihi. As Kali Yuga advances, we can see that these characteristics are already visible. We can certainly imagine how deteriorated human civilization will be by the end of Kali Yuga. Indeed, there will no longer be a sane man capable of understanding God or our relationship with Him. In other words, human beings will be just like animals. Now, if you see these big, big politicians who are fighting wars and killing so many innocent people, do you think they have any idea? Spirit, soul, Lord? Nothing. They're just interested in their power, post, their reputation, their control. That's all. Not at all understanding God and relationship. At the time, in order to reform human society, Lord Krishna will come in the form of Kalki Avatar. His business will be to kill all the atheistic kings because ultimately the real protector is Vishnu or Krishna. The Lord incarnates and sets things in order when things are mismanaged by so called kings and heads of the government. As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata. Of course, this takes many years, but the principle is there. When king or government head does not follow the proper principles, nature deals out the punishments in form of wars, famine, and so forth. See, this is actually what is happening now. Very clearly, Prabhupada explaining. So we have to follow. So there is mismanagement by so-called kings, because of which we are walking now. Therefore, the government head is not aware of life's goal. He should not take charge of ruling people. Now, none of the country's governments are aware of life goals. Actually, the supreme proprietor of everything is Lord Vishnu. He is the maintainer of everyone, the king, the father. See, previously, now one time you become king, for whole life you are king only. There is no question of dethroning you and putting somebody. Very rare cases in the case of Vena that happened, but otherwise it never happens like that. They just continue whole life, and everybody accepts in the king. Not that the king's brothers are cooing around him and trying to dethrone, and so there is a conspiracy going on. No, no, it does not happen like that in Vedic culture. His king means king for whole life, and everybody follows. That's all. So he is very responsible that he knows the purpose of life. Such person is only appointed there. Before appointing, only they see the qualities and appoint him. Once he is appointed, for finished rest of his life. Now he has to guide all the citizens in the direction, taking guidance from Brahmanas. So nobody is competing with him. So he does not have any insecurity that I have to protect my post, and now I need support of so many people. Because I need support of so many people, I should do what is pleasing them, provide them some freebies and this that. No, he don't have any problem like that. I have to somehow win the heart of the citizens by giving them free electricity, free water, free this, free that, and some people I can give them some alcohol, this, that, so many nonsense, so that they will keep me in power. No. So because he didn't have that type of insecurity and problems, what he was very strict. He said, okay, whatever is there, I am the king. Now I am responsible for all the citizens, and nobody is going to take me out of my post. So as long as I am there, I will do it right under the guidance of Brahmanas. So even though it is a very strict decision he has to take, he can happily take it. Now, no government can take any strict decisions on the citizens. Why? Previously, the kings, there was once you become the king, to then there was so much revolutions and all from the citizens. Now there is no revolution. Automatically, after 5 years, everybody comes down. They can elect somebody else. So default, everybody is thrown out after 5 years. If you are trying to do something nice, there will be revolution and then Gen Z revolutions, and you are thrown out. This is actually what is happening now. But previously it was not. So kings are properly guiding and making things work. Now, here actually the supreme proprietor of everything, Lord Vishnu, is the maintainer of everyone. The king, the father, and the guardians are simply representatives of Lord Vishnu, empowered by him to look after the management and maintenance and maintain things. It is therefore the duty of head of the state to maintain the general populace in such a way that people will ultimately know the goal of life. Nate vidu swarth gatim hi Vishnu. See, they can take tough decisions, so they didn't have any problems. They were properly guiding. Now it is all gone. So here, uh, I wanted to show the presentation for it. Mm. I'll just share the screen for you. So first is the king's confusion. A king bows before a siege, recognizing pride as disease. So then he asked this question. Okay, we will come to this slide because we have to complete few more shlokas to come to this slide. I will. Okay, this is, oh, best of the Brahmanas. My body is filled with dirty things, and my vision has been bitten by serpent of pride. Your nectarian instructions are proper medicine for one suffering from the such a fever, and they are cooling waters for one scorching by heat. So this he said, and then he said that king acknowledged that his vision has been bitten by the serpent of pride. So, and this is the primary disease, seeing the world through the lens of ego and position. So this is what King Rahugana admitted. And then he says, body filled with impurities. So material identification, thinking the body is the self, filled fills the consciousness with impurity. So Dehatma Buddhi makes us impure. The king recognizes he is materially diseased, not merely temporarily mistaken. So, and then he asks for medicine. He says Jadabarth instructions are described as two healing processes: medicine for fever, that is spiritual disease, and cool water for the scorching material passion. So, materially, I am suffering, and spiritually, I am having fever. So, you need medicine so that you can spiritually awaken and reduce the pain from material actions also. And then king is sincerely inquisitive about the but overwhelmed. He asks that the profound yoga teaching you repeated in a simple language, a sign of genuine humility and receptivity. So then here the Jadabhata deconstructs every layer of false identity. So he says the ground, the self, true self, Atma has no relationship with the earthly transformation, carrying and being carried by both illusion. He says the king's identity is false ego. I am the survivor, Sauvira. Body of the king, it's a transformation of earth. It's falsely uh, exalted. So the matter is only the king, na? The soul is not the king. You're understanding the point. So matter is only the body is the transformation of matter. Now the transformation of matter brought made me like a man, then the same transformation makes you woman also. Same transformation can make you king also. So soul has nothing to do with it. Wooden palanquin, another transformation of earth only carried on shoulders. Bodies of carriers, feet, ankles, scars, earth and all. It's also moving earth. It's also earth only. And earth and atoms, the primary material substance. So it's all coming down to matter which is transformed like that. So So what is the charge against the king? King Jadavarti is telling you are making innocent people carry the palanquin without paying sufficient. This is not the properly. So you are causing them injustice, suffering. The king forcibly engaged them an act of cruelty. He justified this with false prestige. I protect the citizens. That's why I have a right to make them carry. So Jadabharati is telling you carry because I am your master. You have to carry for me. Jadabharth is telling, Arey, I am self-realized soul. How can you make me carry a palanquin for you? So that is his argument. He could not be honored in an assembly of learned person. His protection was self-deception rooted in material ego. So what is the deeper meaning? All of us on the surface of the globe are transformation of earth. We come into existence, remain for some time, and are annihilated. When the body mingles with the earth again, so there is no fundamental difference between king and carrier. All bodies, however exalted, are earth in temporary forms. Names, titles, and positions exist only nominally. Recognizing this dissolves the basis of cruelty and exploitation. So, first thing is that uh, it's a combination of earth. So there is no fundamentally any difference. I am also earth. We are all made of earth only. So there is no fundamental difference. All bodies, however exalted, are earth only, right? And all the titles and positions are nominally, like they are just given to that body. So why should we take it and in the name of being a king exploit others? So it should not be done. So this will be the next topic. We'll just cover few more verses from the purport. यदा क्षितीव एव चराचरस्य विदामनिष्ठां प्रभवं च नित्यम् तन्नामतोऽन्यद्व्यवहारमूलम् तन्नाम अन्यद्व्यवहार निरूप्यतं सत्क्रिययाम्. All of us on the surface of the globe are living entities in different forms. Some of us are moving and some not moving. All of us come into existence, remain for some time, and are annihilated when the body is again mingled with earth. We are all simply different transformation of earth. Different bodies and capacities are simply transformation of earth and exist in name only. For everything grows out of earth, and when everything is annihilated, it again mingles with earth. In other words, we are but dust, and we shall but be dust. Everyone can consider this point. So, what is trying to tell is uh, in Brahma Sutra, it is tat tat anayatatvam arambana shabdadibhyaha. So, this cosmic manifestation is the mixture of matter and spirit. But the cause is the Supreme Brahman. So basically, he's trying to cut his ego. Arey, don't think you are this, don't think you are this. So the connection of the matter with the body is ego. So what Jadabhat is doing, he's trying to help him cut that connection. So idam hi vishwam bhagavan ivetara. The entire cosmic manifestation is but a transformation of energy supreme Lord. But because of illusion, no one can appreciate that it is not different from the material world. Actually, it's not different. But this material world is simply a transformation of different energy. Parasya Saktir Vividhaya Shurite. That is little technical, but this one point we have to understand that any identification causes pain to us. We cannot identify with matter. Deha no buddhi, that exists. Na bhinna me bhinna prakritastha. So all these points which Jadavar is trying to tell is make us come out of this illusion that you are too much identifying with the body. I look so beautiful, so handsome. I mean, what I'm looking at is matter. That's what is. Of course, it look like little more jnana type of meditation. He is not telling us to meditate. We should have knowledge. No? We ultimately made not that invent of tomorrow you stand in front of mirror and you start thinking, okay, what I am looking at is a combination of earth, water, fire. I am not this body, and I'll meditate on this so that my ego will go away. That is not the way for us. This method is for Jnana Marga. We don't meditate on it. We only know about it. But ultimately, it gives a theoretical knowledge. See, now, if we all heard how many times, we spoke many times, we are not the body, spirit, soul. Then how much it is practical? Will we stop eating breakfast today or lunch? No, we're happy to do it. So how does it make sense? See, for us to cut that false ego, na, theoretically we know, but in application to cut that false ego, we should develop our real ego. And what is that real ego? I am servant of Guru and I am servant of Krishna. Before becoming I am servant of Krishna, we should become servant of Guru. Then only it works. So that is the final thing. So that's why and the last chapter also is telling Guru. And this chapter also it's same thing. So the spiritual energy is also so called sorry, it's also Lord's energy. When material energy engage in service of the Lord, so called material energy also transformed into spirit. So Nate vidu swartha gatim hi Vishnu. Prabhupada is writing very elaborate purport. Basically, he's trying to make because Mayavadis have so much to talk about this, so Prabhupada is quoting everything from Chandogya Upanishad, and in this verse you will see so many shlokas in the purport. Mundak Upanishad, Chandogya Upanishad, Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, everywhere he's quoting. So, original cause or primary ingredients in Chandogya Upanishad. Yata Saumye Ekena Mrita Pani Pindena Sarvam Mimayam Vijnatam Syat Vichara Bham. So this is will not go so much in all this. This Prabhupada is giving references from everywhere. Evam niruktam kshitishabdhavartam asannidhanat paramanavo ye avidyaya manasya kalpitasथे येषां सोहेन कृतो विशेषः. One way that varieties arise from the planet Earth itself. However, although the universe may temporarily appear to be true, it ultimately has no real existence. The Earth was originally created by a collection of atomic particles, but these particles are impermanent. Actually, the atom is not the cause of the universe, although some philosophers think so. It is not a fact that the varieties found in the metal world simply results from atomic juxtaposition or combination. So this is atomic theory. I think Vaisheshika or somebody must be having this theory. This is from the one of the Shad Darshanas only. So this is based on Vedas only. They try to prove this. Since the universe has no real ultimate existence, the things within it shortens differences, grossness, skinniness, smallness, bigness, results, cause, living symptoms, and materials are all imagined. They are all pots made of same substance, earth, but they are named differently. The difference are characterized by the substance, nature, and predisposition, time, and activity. We should know that all these are simply mechanical manifestations created by material nature. So this is it's all the combinations, and in Madhvacharya says evam sarvam tata prakritvan. He says that actually the original cause is Vishnu. So this is from many sources. Prabhupada is quoting this Shastras, that how so much references Prabhupada is giving. We'll take all the references. It is homework for you. You can read what all references Prabhupada gave. Very nice. And he says that what then is the ultimate truth? The answer is that non-dual knowledge is the ultimate truth. It is devoid of contamination of material qualities. It gives us liberation. It is one without a second, all pervading, beyond imagination. The first realization is Brahman, then Paramatma, the supersoul is realized, and this is the second stage of realization, but finally, Bhagavan realization. So, and then we have two more verses. We'll just take the राहुगणे तत्तपसा न याति न चेज्जया निर्वपनाद्गृहाद्वा न छन्दसा नैव जलाग्निसूरै न विना महत्पादरजोऽभिषेकम्. My dear king, unless one has the opportunity to smear his entire body with the dust of the lotus feet of great devotees, one cannot realize the absolute truth. It's one of the most famous shloka. One cannot realize the absolute truth simply by observing celibacy, strictly following the rules and regulations of household life, leaving home as a vanaprastha, accepting sannyasas, or undergoing severe penance in winter, by keeping oneself submerged in water or surrounding oneself in summer by fire and the scorch heat of sun. There are many other processes to understand absolute truth, but absolute truth is only revealed to one who has attained the mercy of devotee. See, it's all waste of time doing other things if you are not serving Guru. So that is the point. And purpose is actual knowledge of transcendental bliss can be bestowed on anyone by a pure devotee. Veshu Durlabha cannot attain simply by following directions of Vedas. One has to know Anyabhilashita by the grace of such a devotee, one can understand absolute truth. A practicing person sometimes thinks that simply by executing pious acts, remaining at home, one can understand absolute truth. That is foolishness. So this is the most important thing. He says, निषेव्यमानो अनुदिनं Recording in progress. मतिं यच्छति वासुदेवे. Two more shlokas. Chapter is complete. Who are the pure devotees mentioned here? In an assembly of pure devotees, there is no question of discussing material subjects like politics and sociology. In an assembly of pure devotees, there is no discussion. There is discussion only of the qualities, form, and pastimes of Supreme Lord. He is praised and worshipped by all with full attention. In the association of pure devotees, by constantly hearing such topics respectfully, even a person who wants to merge Recording in progress. I have the presentation. Just I'll complete this verse and then we'll go to the presentation. अहं पुरा भारतो नाम राज विमुक्तदृष्ट श्रुतसङ्गबद्ध आराधनं भागवतो इह मानो मृगो अभवं मृगसंदिग्धातरा. In a previous birth, I was known as Maharaj Bharata. I attained perfection by becoming completely detached from material activities through direct experience. Through indirect experience, I received understanding from the Vedas. I was fully engaged in service of Lord, but due to my misfortune, I became very affectionate to a small deer, so much so that I neglected my spiritual duties. Due to my deep affection for the deer, in the next life, I had to accept the body of a deer. So now he is telling his history. So as a guru, he has to tell how he went through this so that he got that realization. And then he says, my dear heroic king, due to my past sincere service to Lord, I could remember everything of my past life while in the body of a deer because I am aware of the fall down in the past life. I always keep myself separate from the association of ordinary men. Being afraid of their bad materialistic association, I wander alone unnoticed by others. So he's giving his identity, real identity here is told. Otherwise, nobody will know. Tasman no nor naro sanga susanga jata jnana shenaiva vivrakna manoham harim tad iha katana srutabhyam labda smriti yatyati prama adva. Simply by giving up the association of worldly people and associating with exalted devotees, anyone can attain perfection of knowledge and with the sword of knowledge can cut to pieces the illusory association within this material world. Through the association of devotees, one can engage in service of Lord by hearing and chanting. Thus, one can revive his dormant Krishna consciousness and sticking to the cultivation of Krishna consciousness, return home back to Godhead. So, I'll just come to this presentation. So this is the nature of material world. It is temporary, nominal, and ultimately unreal. So what appears real, what is normal, and what defines differences. So various forms appear. They are real, moving and non-moving, short, tall, fat. This is a combination of atoms, cause and effect relations, names, identities. They all appear real. And what is normal? All forms go from earth. The forms return to earth. Names applied to some substance. Atoms themselves are impermanent. Universe is temporary but appears true. And what defines differences? So the substance, its nature and predisposition, time, activity, and these are material, not ultimate. So this is what is the Sankhya understanding. The three stages of realizing truth: Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan. The only path, the truth is. So the other paths are insufficient: Brahmacharya, Grahastha Dharma, Vanaprastha, Sannyasa, severe penance in winter, submerged in cold water, surrounded oneself with fire and scorching. And these processes without devotee mercy does not work. So only way is smear the body, the dust of the lotus feet, dust from the lotus feet of a devotee. Attain the mercy of the devotee. Absolute truth is only revealed to who received the mercy, and mercy is not end by rituals. And Jarabha says our own teaching to Ravaguna is itself an activity of mercy. So who are these pure devotees? In their assembly, the discussion is not what is absent: political discussion, sociology, material subjects, gossip, and self promotions or sectarian debates. And what is the discussion? They discuss qualities of the Supreme Lord, form and manifestation, discuss about his leelas, praise and worship with full attention, con- constant respectful hearing of these topics, atmosphere that draws even impersonals towards bhakti. So this is the so So this is how it happened. Maharaj Bharata, he was a devotee. He became affectionate to a deer. He fell down, got a birth of a deer, remembered his past life, and voluntarily isolated as Jarabharata. So the way forward for liberation: first is leave bad association, associate with exalted devotees, hearing and chanting, return home, back to Godhead. And from pride to liberation. The king confesses that, so this is the summary of this chapter. The king confesses that pride is a disease, humility before a realized teacher is first medicine. So he became humble. So he took that medicine properly. And what happened then? Uh, Palanquin teachings is all bodies, king and carrier, all transformation of same earth. Atma is beyond all these things. The universe is, this material world is a temporary place. Universe temporarily real but ultimately unreal. Names, forms and differences are nominal and mechanical creations of nature only, whatever we are seeing around. So three stages of truth: Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagwan, and only one path. What is that? Neither austerities nor rituals, but only association. That too, you have to serve the dust of the lotus feet of a devotee. And in the association of pure devotees, only the topics of Lord are discussed, and Bharat Maharaj tells his own, Jadava tells his own story. And he says, live worldly association, join devotees, and chant Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. So you completed successfully. We completed 12th chapter. Any questions, comments, or we'll end here? Okay. Thank you all very much. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की